Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's this time of the week. It's Monday at 3 o'clock, my call-in show. I am going to continue with my poems that I wrote in 2009. I just kind of at random picked them out. This is one I'm going to read today, okay? It's Continuing Remembering. It came to me, and I'm going to just go over what I said last week, the same way that my art came. It comes in messages for me. At that point in time, I really didn't have any idea what I was writing, but now I'm kind of showing everybody what I was doing in 2009, and hopefully that some of you can relate, and if not, just keep an open mind. This is Continuing Remembering. I am changing, it seems, hour by hour, minute by minute. The doorway is in sight. I am truly blessed. My wish is to help others on this journey. I read today that only 12% of the population will continue with us, light workers. We must not have fear or anger. This is an illusion, so it should be simple. We must not complicate it. It is our journey, our choice. What wonders lie ahead? I am so excited. I can't wait. This is Love, Zena. It was a very short one, but I felt it was very necessary today to read that to you. So please tune into my continue staying in where you are right now. Don't leave. We're going to have a commercial, and I'm coming back to answer your questions. Please call in with anything that you feel you want to ask me. Thank you. Hi, my name is Sally Barnard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. It's time to trust your intuition. This is your inner knowings. Through questions and points of conversation, I can help others feel empowered. With the ability to touch people's past lives, I help others connect and not feel alone. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995.
A true story, Call Me Zena is the telling of Sally Barnard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of two and grandmother of four, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the third dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you tuned in just a few minutes ago to listen to my poem. I love what I wrote many years ago. But we can go, if you have any questions, now we're in a different segment, so please call in. If the poem opened anything for you, anything that you want to know, please just let me know, and we're open to questions right now. Thank you.
And if you'd like to speak to Sally and ask her a question, please call 888-994-4995 Studio A, and Sally will be happy to consult her guides and answer your question.
Thank you, Lynn, very much. So I'm ready.
Sally, 58 years ago today, I lost somebody near and dear to me, my favorite Aunt Mary, my cousin Linda's mother. And I was wondering if Aunt Mary is looking down on us and giving us a message today.
Well, I go very much with how I feel, not only so much how I answer the questions, Steve. As you said that, I feel a presence. I feel that I'm getting the goosebumps coming over me. I am familiar, I'm not familiar with the lady, but I know you're talking about your cousin, correct? Who was your aunt, who lost her mother. I feel that her presence is definitely around actually both of you. And just to give a little story and a little background, what happened, we went to we visited Linda in New York. And we were talking just as we are now about what maybe her mother may be around. And I had explained to her in the restaurant that sometimes they communicate with us through electricity. And as I was saying that, and if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, Linda, that the lights went out in the restaurant. So my validation is that she's hearing us today. Just she was there in the restaurant as she is today. So I feel that she is around, both of you actually.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that, and I'm sure Linda is happy as well.
Okay, Linda, if you are watching, I'm not sure, but just know that her presence is very much with you today. She knows that this is the anniversary of her passing. Is that correct? Did
Yes,
you say?
today is 58 years.
They are aware of that. There is no time on the other side, Steve, but they're very aware of how we celebrate certain anniversaries. So she's very aware that you are, and it is a celebration because she's happy on the other side. So just to tell you and to tell Linda, please celebrate today. She's very aware of what you're doing. So talk to her, speak to her, and as you are doing right now on the show. Thank you for the
And
question.
Linda just wrote in, oh, Steve, thank you for bringing up my mom. So,
Okay, Linda, hello. And I just feel, just sit there, and I see that you're listening. Just know that her presence is around you, Linda. I know a little more of the background now than I did actually when we first met in New York a few months ago. But the validation was actually with the lights going out in the restaurant as we actually said that. So how much more, you know, she's around you as she is today. She's aware that it is the anniversary of her passing. Thank you. Thank you for the question. That was a beautiful question.
Sally, I want to attempt to begin the new segment that we talked about, that Lynn brought up. I lost my brother a long time ago, maybe 23, 24 years ago. And I'd like to know if there's anything coming from that side of the equation.
Okay, Freddie, just know also, and I believe you do talk to him, with what you're saying he is hearing, I don't know quite, his presence right here is not completely, it's like he's around you right now, and he is very aware of what you're doing. So do you want to ask him a specific question, and let's see if we can get the answer from him? Is there anything that you might want to ask him?
Well, when my brother passed, me and him were not on speaking terms. We had an argument, and I always regretted the fact that I could never have said that I was sorry. And I don't know if he knows that.
Freddie, he does. And again, I'm going to bring myself into this scenario. My daughter passed about 6 months ago or 7 months ago, and it was very sad for me. I went to visit her, so I did have closure. But I also had been not in speaking with her for a little while. I was able to get the closure here, but it's a very similar situation. You just let me tell you that he hears you. All is forgiven. I can only go by my own validation from my daughter, and I made peace with her while she was still here, although she wasn't completely coherent about what was going on. But I was able to have that closure. But you can still get it from the other side, which I feel that she's given me complete closure, that she loves you. He loves you. It's all forgiven. From my point of view, and you don't have to truly, you know, it's hard to understand, but we're working in what we call an illusion here. We're playing a game. It's hard, especially when you lose a loved one. But we're playing many different parts. The part that you played with you and your brother is very relevant. He knows what happened. But it's whatever happened here is done. All is forgiven, if that helps you in any way. He's with you 100% all the time. He's telling me to tell you, please speak to him. He hears you, Freddie. He hears you. continue the conversations that you would. Forget what happened here. This was a game. The love that you had for each other never, ever leaves. It's a vibrational energy of love. And I feel that my daughter is here telling me this. And she's telling me she loved me. She always loved me. It was the game we were playing here. So I had a very similar situation. I was able to get the closure here, but you're getting the closure now. Does that make you feel a little better?
It does. In spirit world, Sally, are they like in multiple places, or is it just a spirit that comes in one place, or are they all over?
They're all over. They are where they want to be. It's not so unsimilar to here. We actually, we actually have it the other way around. We actually here, if you want to say it, this is our death. We wake up on the other side. If we're able to, we all wake up here. So they are around. We carry on what we're doing on the other side. But the only difference is there is not all this tremendous drama there. We see it more clearly. So whatever happened here, I don't want to say it's a game because it's real where we're here and we do continue to learn. But basically we're playing the game. On the other side, it's truth. It's truth of where we're going. So I'm touching that deeper and deeper today. I'm feeling that more and more. I used to hear from my guide Aldo while he was here and he explained it to me, but it's becoming more real to me today. I see that this is our platform to play the game. On the other side is real. Does that, it's, for me, it's a little difficult to explain, but I just want to tell you that this is what I feel. They're communicating with me, and this is real, they're communicating. Take life, we're here to learn lessons in life, and maybe you and your brother, that was a lesson, a karma from another lifetime, but all is forgiven. Let me finish this by saying all is forgiven, Freddie. He loves you, you love your brother. That will never, never die. However you come back here, be it that we change our so-called costumes, but we stay with our friends, our family, our soul family. He will always be with you, no matter how or what he is when he appears to you in this world. But you will, I feel they're telling me to tell you, you will see that. It will make more sense on the other side. Does that help you, Freddie?
Yes, thank you.
Sally, you mentioned Aldo, your guide when he was here on Earth. I think that Aldo, in many ways, has become my spirit guide as we move along in our journey. And I usually don't take fortunes from a cookie in a Chinese restaurant too seriously. But last night, if you recall, mine was pretty profound, and I wonder if Aldo was sending me some sort of a message. It was when you found you could make mistakes that you knew you were onto something.
Absolutely. That was a message. You know, I have spoken to you and also to Lynn, who is my guest today also, that Aldo is able, because he knows what I'm going to look at. We had talked about this while he was in physicality. He would tell me that I was getting messages from my father. My daughter had not passed at that time, but people that had passed, he said, turn the television on, they will give you a message. What he's doing is doing the same thing through writings, through how he knows what we're going to look at. So, and he was there giving you that message, as he was with you yesterday, Lynn. I can't remember exactly what happened, but we were talking about my book or something. And there I went into the internet. Oh, we were talking about my art, and you were there with me when this happened. Mm-hmm. The next thing I see was how I was presenting, how I should be presenting my art to go in. Maybe you can elaborate, or even you, Steve, on what we actually saw yesterday as far as going into my art.
Yeah, well, your artwork tells a story, but it also is a story. And so there's like so many things in this world. There are multiple layers, right? We live in a multi-dimensional universe. And so one of the things we talked about, which you'll be doing on future shows, is talking about specific pieces of artwork that you've done and the story behind it of your creating it, but then also the story behind the story, what the spiritual significance of it may be. And so I think as we were talking about this, and I think it was on Saturday that we spoke about how can we share more with the world about the multifaceted Sally who does all these different things, and yet they somehow all come together. And that's also part of the reason for doing the book and bringing it up to date, because there have been so many changes and so many different gifts and abilities that have come forward in you and for you.
Yes, and I think we got the validation because I believe I went into Facebook and I actually text you that we were talking about going into my art. As you can see, there's some drawings here to actually show the audience what we have by actually entering my art. And here in Miami, I believe it was Van Gogh, I see the exhibition where you're actually sitting there going into his art. So to me, that was complete validation that they were listening and explaining how we should do this and how we should go about it.
Well, even when we were working on Friday, I believe it was, you were looking at one of your paintings and you saw a horse in it.
Yes, I did.
That you had never seen before.
Exactly.
You painted it.
Yes, I did.
But you never saw the horse that was there.
That's actually correct. And I mean, I did that painting maybe about 14 years ago when I started. I never saw the horse. So, and here I am the artist drawing that. So my message today, and if there's viewers, please call in and ask me questions about this, is to show you, I can only show you what's happened to me. I'm spreading the word through you and through Steve, who is now understanding, through Freddie, through Dawn. I'm only as good as the questions that are asked to me. I can give you what I've seen and what I do.
Right.
But I have to, for me, for my collective to come in, and I feel that Aldo is coming in, I have to have the question. Then I can give you the answers. I can only validate what's happened to me, and it's been absolutely amazing. I knew nothing about this. Let's go back 20 years ago. I was just a person living an ordinary life, but my life was changing completely. And my work today is to spread this message to many people that are wondering, was this coincidence? Was it not? To have hidden talents. I had talent to draw. I did not know that. It's possible. Please believe this. If you're listening to my show, I feel that you might want to know more. Call in. Please ask questions. We need to spread this word. I have the opportunity here today with, well, not just today, I'm going to be at the Brooklyn Cafe, and I have this opportunity. I feel that spirit is very much here. This isn't coincidence that we're all sitting here. I feel it very, very strong. Please call in. Please spread this message to people.
So this maybe is a really good time for us to share some very exciting news with your audience. And that is that for some of you, you may want to go even more in depth than you feel like you would be able to do on the show. And maybe you have some very, very personal questions about a loved one that you've lost. And, that would take up a whole show. So the good news that we want to share with you today is that Sally is now going to be available for private readings. And the private reading will consist not only of these channeled messages regarding a loved one that you have or that you've lost, but you'll also be able to have her support you by providing the spiritual insight that goes along with being able to fully comprehend the reading that she's done for you. So this is a really, really important time, a really exciting opportunity. If you have something, quick and easy that you'd like to do, a very quick thing, then please, by all means, call the number here at the studio and talk to Sally on the program like we're doing now. But if you have something deeper, and you'd like to send a message in to the show and ask for a private reading, Sally would be happy to set something up for you. She can do it over the phone or however, and really get you what you're looking for. Because I know for a lot of us right now, we have a lot of questions. Our world seems to be filled with chaos.
Yes.
And we have a lot of questions. And so wouldn't it be helpful to you, if you're one of those people with a lot of questions, to be able to start getting some answers from the people that you trust, which would include Sally, but also the people that in your life that you've lost and are now on the other side and who have a whole different perspective than what they had when they were here, perhaps when they were here with you. So call and ask Sally questions now during the show, and you can do that at 888-994-4995, Studio A, or you can also send in a message and request a private reading.
Thank you very much. And anybody that's local, we are in Boca Raton. Please come down to the Brooklyn Cafe too. I'd be happy to answer your questions. It's on the air, but you don't have to. You can just sit here and you don't have to be shown yourself. I'll be happy to ask you. It's 3 o'clock on a Monday. We need to get more involved with this. So it's the Brooklyn Cafe. And again, if you want to know the exact address, 888-994-4995, and anybody here will tell you, anybody that's local. I don't expect you to get on an aeroplane and come down here, but locally, there's a lot of people in Boca, there's surrounding areas. Please come down to the cafe. Thank you. I'm happy to answer your question.
Sally, I have a question. My dad sees his mother, her spirit, walking around their house. Does she have a message that she's trying to tell him? Because he sees her very vividly in her clothing.
Well, she's trying to get his attention. Obviously, you can feel that. I feel that very strongly. I believe she has a message for him. The way that he may be able to get this message is, I feel that if he asks her what the message is, and I get my messages from Aldo this way, either go, because we're so with technology today, ask the question. I mean, by all means, call in and ask me, but I have to get that vibrational energy going here. But ask. They're saying ask and you will receive. Okay? So it may come in if he opens something, even in a newspaper, because not too many of us read newspapers today. Right. But it will be there. It's usually the first or second thing. If they're aware that they can pass the message on that way, pass that on. I feel that it will come, even by turning the television on, there'll be something there that will give the answer.
To ask. And my other grandmother, passed on my mother's birthday, on her daughter's birthday. Why would she have chosen that day to pass?
To get your attention again, to know that there is more. Because I believe, and I'm not sure, and this may not be with everybody, but as we're passing, we get some idea, even before we've left here, that we're going somewhere else, and we can continue our communication with our loved ones that were left behind. So if you pick a specific day, you're questioning yourself, on my birthday, it has more meaning at that point. So you might look into it a little more. We just have to open up. It's all around us, which I used to say in my poetry too. Everything is there. We just need to have more of an open mind. And my message today is really, I feel, is important. Please just look beyond what we are here today with little subtle messages, passing on someone's birthday, on an anniversary. Just open up more and listen to yourself. That's what I had help. I did have help. But let me help you. If someone wants to call into the studio with what you're just asking me now, I open you up to the fact that this is, for me, it's real. I know it's hard to understand, and it was for me too, but I can only tell you about my journey here. It's only really, for me, I'm speeding it up because I'm getting older, but I want people to listen to me. Listen, if I can just touch maybe however many people, I can just touch them, they can spread the message on. It's important. There is so much more than what we know. It's around us.
And I can validate that belief because I've seen you numerous times ask Aldo for a message, and then immediately our wedding song comes on the radio. Or I've seen you ask for a message and your father's favorite song would come on the radio.
Absolutely,
So-
Steve. This, just to clarify who you are talking, this is Steve, my husband, who came into this with not knowing too much, but around me you've had so much validation. And I said they will come through with songs. And as you just said, you verified that. It's
Yes.
amazing.
And when we started, I knew nothing about what you do, and now I don't question a thing.
Absolutely, because they wanted, you were ready. Not everybody is ready, and I understand that. I wasn't till the middle part of my life. I wasn't ready. I was ready, but I didn't know I was ready. And then suddenly the validation, boom, 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 is coming from all over. We can't ignore that. They're trying to communicate with us. Everybody who is listening, even if you have a little doubt, just, I always say fake it, just listen, ask questions. You will get validation. Thank you. We're just going to a commercial. I will be back. This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask. Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace. Go with love. Go as one. Zena. You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Barnard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you could always seek me out for resources. Visit artbysallybarnard.com today. Now, back to the show. Drawings about it. Hey, it's me. I'm just explaining. I'm very interested in what you have on your T-shirt, because in the very beginning when I started to do sketching, it was all about ancient. I was going back to many, many thousands of years ago. I was drawing signs and symbols of what they left here for us. And just to explain a little bit about what was just going on in the studio, I noticed that you have a T-shirt with exactly what I was drawing in the very beginning when this started. I don't know if you want to speak or ask me a question. Even you don't have to necessarily go into the mic, but do you have a question?
No, not as of now.
No, that's fine, and I respect that too. But nothing's coincident. Okay, okay.
So I'd like to go back to the question that Freddie asked earlier. And because you mentioned, on the other side. And one of the things that has always fascinated me is when we have this reunion on the other side with people. I've heard that we do a life review, but then we also have a reunion with the people that we shared the lifetime with. And so, do your guides have anything to say about what that experience might be like and what people might be able to look forward to when they have a situation where someone passed and they weren't on the best of terms with them, or didn't seem like they were on the best of terms with them?
Okay, I'm just going to say, and the first words that are coming to me is all is forgiven, because we're playing a play here.
Right.
So when you get to meet them on the other side, it doesn't matter. If anybody judges us, guess who it is? It's ourselves,
Right.
okay?
Right.
So we say, oh my gosh, did we behave that way? They've already gone through their life review, so they're perfectly okay with it. But we are the ones that will get the surprises as we go through. But then again, we're looking at it a different perspective. We're looking at it as if we're watching a movie, going, I said that? It's different because we're observing it. So yes, I can, because there's only love on the other side. Now, having said that, we still do come back into this reality. We come back into this, I like to call it an illusion. So we will continue the play where we left off here, as far as what I can see. So if we call, as we call karma, if we've had this conflict with someone, it will show it. Not every lifetime. We may skip a lifetime with that person because that person may not choose to come back in that lifetime with us. But when we do, we will go through that same scenario. But it will be, as I have said before, a different scenario with maybe a different outcome until we get rid of that. Because after all, on the other side, and many of our viewers, I'm sure, if they're listening to me, know this, there is only love on the other side. And it's not the love that we see here. It's what we would call an unconditional love. It's love that you may have, and I'm going to bring pets into this because they're very actually advanced in their way. They love you no matter what. So that's what happens with us. So when you meet someone, you say, how are they going to react to me? It's how you will react to yourself when you hear that. Okay, does that help?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you mentioned pets. I have a dear friend who is a survivor of abuse, and she's going through a very difficult time because her dog that has provided her with so much emotional support is in the process of passing. And it's a really, really difficult time for her. And so you're talking about the pets in that way is really important because that can bring comfort to people. You know, I mean, our pets are always important to us, but sometimes they play an even more significant role in our lives about helping us, you know, recover or make up for some kind of deficiency or disability that we have.
Well, they're showing us how to behave here, actually. I mean, we do some crazy things in this world, okay, that are just like, it's difficult. We have to go through so much. You can do anything to a pet most of the time, and they forgive. So that's what it's like on the other side. Actually, it's a very good way of explaining how the other side, I say on the other side of the veil, they're really around us here. We don't look at it, we look at it differently. Can I say we look at it from a pet's point of view? Actually, yes, we do in certain ways, because they come in without all this drama and chaos. Even if they're brought into an abuse, pets have abuse too. Many people hurt their pets, but they forgive. They forgive because I don't know this to be sure, but part of them and this is just coming to me, they remember they are who they are on both sides of this, from the other side and here. They've come in to help. They come in to help us, actually. They really do, but we don't see that. We don't see that.
And if you have a question for Sally, please dial 888-994-4995 Studio A, and she would be happy to respond to your question. And if you'd like to book a private reading with her, please send a message, and she will get back in touch with you.
Thank you, Lynn. Yes, I'm here as best I can to. I haven't got all the answers, and I will be the first person to say that. But I've touched something, and many people have, but they don't really know that they've touched it. I just want to show people, open up, there is more. We're going through a very difficult time in this world today. We never know what we're going to hear on the news. And I've said this before, we cannot not listen to the news. We have to be part of it. But we need help. We need help. And if I can be part of that somehow to help you, I'm here.
Sally, I got a question. Sometimes we meet people who sort of open the way to receive messages that we're not listening to. Am I just thinking something that doesn't exist, or does that exist?
No, it absolutely exists. I'm sure that I had many messages before Aldo came into my life, who was my guide, if you know, which was 18 years ago. If I had not listened to him, I probably wouldn't be where I was today. Was he the first person to give me messages? No, I don't believe he was. He had a very profound message to me, and he came in to guide me. But we are all open to this. Our guides and our spirit guides are with us from day one, from when we're born. But we don't listen because we come in forgetting this. But when you start to remember slightly, or even if you don't remember, just hear, just dreams, intuition, what you feel. They're trying desperately to help us, desperately. So you're not imagining any of the messages that you may feel that someone has for you, Freddie. Continue along there because they have this for you. They're able to give us their messages. We're not always ready to receive them. And that's very important.
What about receiving messages and you want to tell somebody what you're feeling about somebody else in their life? Not necessarily them, but somebody else in their life. How do you approach that?
You mean if you're getting a message to tell in our life here?
Correct.
Okay. And you're getting a message to tell them? Well, I come across that because I give messages to people. And sometimes I say to myself, it could be a warning about something. Because I'm pretty accurate, but I can't be 100% certain that this is going to happen. But I will give them a message if I feel that it's very relevant. I will go say, if it's a message that you feel that you're getting for somebody and it's not necessarily, as I'm going to say, a negative message.
But that's my point.
What if it's with caution?
What if it's, what's the word? What if it's not going to be received as a positive?
Well, you know, this is the chance we take too. I believe that you should give the message, but it's up to you how you give that message. You know, you can say, I'm not sure, or I feel this, but you know, but if you're given the message, I feel that you're meant to tell them. But do it in what we would call a tactful way. Make them aware that something, whatever it is, without you knowing what maybe you're receiving. Obviously, I don't know. But if you are feeling that you're receiving this from the other side, that you're like the instrument to give this person the message. Give it to them, but give it to them tactfully. Say, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. Just open them up and to be aware of a situation that could happen. I mean, we're talking, you know, I'm going to say hypothetically, but this is how we should go with this. You don't want to scare someone, you know, because we're not 100% sure. I've had premonitions, but I don't always know what my premonition means. And then I might see something, and I've had validation from the television. What was I meant to do with that? No one's going to believe me anyway. But as much as you can, pass it on to somebody, yes, pass it on, but in a tactful way. If it's a very negative thing, I believe you should pass it on. That's why you're getting the message.
I've seen you have premonitions, and seconds later, those premonitions come to be. Is there a way to channel those premonitions sooner so the bad thing couldn't happen?
I'm going to say to you, I honestly don't know. I've seen, for instance, with the shower,
Yeah.
I had a feeling, I heard we had someone working in our house, and I hear this tremendous bang, and I said, wouldn't it be awful if the shower broke while he's putting it up, the door broke while he's putting it up? 2 minutes later, I didn't know where it was, but it was our house. It falls down and breaks. Luckily, he was all right. Even with what I'm tuned into, I can't always be knowing when it's going to happen. And this is I fell. I heard the bang before I fell a month ago. Same thing with the shower and the other shower. I heard the bang and I said, why am I hearing this bang again? And the next thing I know, I'm on the floor. The floor was wet and I hit the shower. I didn't help myself there. I'm all right, but I got the premonition. So it's hard. I don't know. Listen. All I'm saying, listen to these things. It's hard to figure this out. As much as I'm in tune with this, I don't know where and when yet, when it's going to happen. I just feel that it's going to happen. So it's hard. It's hard.
Sally, Did my uncle pass and my grandma passed at the same time? Is that a coincidence? They both passed in the morning time.
Okay, I'm sorry, first of all, for your loss. Yes, sometimes we do choose, you know, if you have a loved one here, that you may want to make that transition on the other side at the same time that that loved one is going to pass the other. Now, that's a kind of, and as best that I can explain it, it's kind of a conscious decision that we make from what I would call our higher self. We don't really understand that, but we are in contact with one another with what we call our higher self, which is in the spiritual realm. So they probably, and I can't be sure, made that decision to pass together, yes.
What happens if I have a feeling that it's unnatural? It's supernaturally unnatural.
That it's unnatural that they passed at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, I, as best as I can to help you with this, this was their choice to do that. You know, I can't be sure of anything, but I just feel that I'm getting the message from them that that was their choice to do that, because we don't always know. We are greeted by people, but sometimes, and as my guide actually had said to me, he will meet me as he's passed when I pass over. But I might feel that maybe I want to go, as we would here, let's go somewhere with a friend or a relative. That's the best that I can explain that. I feel that they had that mutual connection that they wanted to pass together. That helps you a little bit. Try not to question this too much in your mind, because we don't know for sure, but they want you to, I think through me, want you to hear that, okay, if that helps you. That was their decision to do that. Because, you know, we might say that's unnatural, but that's what they wanted. It's actually a blessing in a way, I guess, because they passed together. So they were greeted by family.
Much of your artwork has come about through some past life situations. How do we get in touch with what our past lives might have been?
Well, there's several different ways. Just to make a disclaimer about myself, 20 years ago I did not believe in past lives. But I think they wanted, and today I'm 100% believer. Obviously, I'm drawing from past lives. So what happened, I was getting various messages from people to open me up, to say there is a little more. I was beginning to read books on past lives, although I didn't at that time believe it, but I kept an open mind. And from then on in, everything, so much happened. My guide came in a few years later to tell me that he was with me in a past life. Might not have even believed that, but I was able to draw from a previous life of my memories from that life. So he was able to point that out. So I can't, just like anything else, keep that open mind. Why would this, again, there might be people that say, who is she to say this? But why would this just be our life? Why are we here? We're here for so much more. Let's continue this journey through lifetimes.
Why do we as humans choose to do evil first?
To do evil? Okay, because there is, and this is hard to explain it, but there's a balance here. And we play both sides of that balance. So when we come in, we choose, and it's hard to describe this in a way, but because we're here to spread love, but that doesn't always happen. So in order to know the best way that I can explain this to you, in order to know what love is, we've got to see the opposite of love. That's the evil. However we choose to show that evil, because when we then experience love, we're on our journey, but we've got to see both sides of this coin, okay? So when we come in, and from my point of view, and I don't expect people to understand as much as I do today, we're playing a game. It's a game, but we have to have both sides of that in the game. We can be all love, but then we won't know what love really is till we experience love. Having said that, the evil is bad. Yes, it's bad for us in the game, But it has to be that way. It has to be that way. Hopefully when we move out, and I can go into more of what I feel is the dimensions here, we're in, and I'd like to have questions on this, we're in what we call a 3D dimension, which has both sides of that. But in order to raise our vibrational energy to a higher dimension, we go into a 5th dimension. If we've experienced evil and love, but we have to know the difference at that point, have gone through our karma with the evil and continue with love, then we're able, as so to speak, open the doors to the next dimension.
How am I supposed to love somebody that I know that's going to keep them on?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness comes to me. The first word is forgiveness. There are reasons for that. There are many evil people in this world, as there are people that love. Try in your heart, because I feel that you're a very genuine feeling person and it's affecting you badly, as it is. I feel that. Try to forgive. Try, if you can, I'm not saying counsel them because you may not be the right person, but try to put them, but that's their choice. Again, it's hard. It's hard for you because I believe you're on the other side of that. It's hard to see what they're doing, but show them by example who you are. I show people by example who I am, the best that I can. I can't save this world. I can only show people and open up. If someone doesn't want to listen, I was just having this conversation with Steve in the car. I can't do anything about that. I'm not here for the fame or whatever it might bring me, which is good because then I can pass my message on, but I will continue who I am. I will get people that will say that I'm crazy. I don't care. I have to be who I am, and that's really important. Be who you are and show this person by example what you're experiencing in this world. Does that help you? But forgive. I'm hearing that so loudly. Forgive, for they say we don't know what we say. Okay, I'm feeling that this is this person. Okay, forgive if you can. I think I've made everybody very quiet.
No, we were just waiting to see if he had another question from the other side.
Do you have something more you want to?
Yes, actually, as you know, I've had a lot of revelations about my own life over the past several months, and you know, we all want to know where we came from, and my story seems to keep changing on a number of levels of where I came from. But the one constant in all of this was my grandmother, who put up with so much, but who raised me and did the best she could. And she left this world when I was 18. And I'm wondering if there's any message that she might have for me today.
First thing that comes straight to me right now, she was her purpose for you to, she was your grandmother to help you here. She gave you, she gave you a lot, I feel that she gave you a lot of insight, Lynn. So her message, and she left with knowing that she had passed some of the information. I feel that she was actually very psychic in her own ways. She was very intuitive. She came here to help you. She came here to help you, and she's still saying that to me today. Tell him, I'm here, I will never leave his side. I feel that, in fact, it's making me want to cry. I feel that so strongly for you. She understood what you were going through. She knew this. She had intuition, but she was here to help you. And in a way, I know this sounds weird, but to save you from a lot of things that you were ultimately going to have in your life. She did the best that she could for you, and she still will. She still will.
Yeah, and I believe that. I feel like in that swirl of things, I feel like she was that constant.
She was a constant.
And you would have, if you would have known her, you would have never, if you looked at her, you never would have suspected the strength within her.
That's right.
Right.
But she did that for a reason too.
Yeah.
Because you responded. She didn't want everybody to respond for this, because we come in sometimes with specific messages for the people that we're here to help. She was one of the people that was definitely here to help you.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. That's been something that's been on my mind for several days now.
Okay, and that's why she's come through so very strongly to me, to tell you she did everything that she could do. Take heed. If you can remember some of the things that she said to you, she was here. Her prime reason actually here was to help you. That's what I feel. Okay?
Wow.
And
Thank you.
My grandmother on my mom's side, she's the person doing the evil. Why does she do the evil on my family?
Your grandmother on your mother's side.
Yes.
I feel, I see like stirring up the pot type of thing.
Like witchcraft.
Yes.
She does.
And I don't want to say that, yeah, but this is the feeling I'm getting. I'm not here to judge anyone, so please don't think that I'm, I'm just here to give you what I'm seeing, okay? She's stirring the pot. And this is, I can't say this is why she's here because I don't want to give you all this negativity, but just be aware of this. She needs help. Just show her that you may be a happy family, that whatever she's stirring
She
up.
wants to tear the happy family up.
That's what I'm getting.
She actually came in my house and put BS on, forced us in foster care.
Okay, I'm feeling very much of this. Maybe we can talk a little privately at some other time because I don't know how much you may want to be on the air, but
I could be on there with it.
okay, all right. Okay, again, we have to have balance. I'm not excusing her behavior. This is not good. But just don't let it work, okay? Don't let it work. She'll keep stirring and stirring and stirring. And I'm coming through very strong now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
She came inside my house telling my parents, "You will not raise your children 3 times," like chanting and chanting in my house.
That's what I'm feeling, okay? It's bringing me, it's coming over me, okay? And I need to clear myself a little bit of this. She's here to make trouble, okay? But we can dilute that. Let's try and dilute this, okay? Let's help her. I know this is ridiculous and it's hard to say, but let's try and help her. She's in a lot of turmoil. For someone to be doing this, she needs to come more into love. Is that easy? No. She may not learn it in this lifetime. But unfortunately, and she's here, right, to do this. I'm feeling it very
That's
strong.
how I feel my grandmother on my dad's side passed, and my uncle as well. But it's from my other uncle doing another sort of other thing, not my grandma.
Okay, I'm getting some sort of pain in my chest. Is there anybody that, has anybody recently passed from a heart attack or from what she's
my
done?
uncle died today.
That's right,
He
okay.
put something on
Okay, I'm feeling that very strongly, okay. I'm feeling it,
next person as well.
I'm feeling it.
But we fought through it.
Yes, okay. This is very emotional for me too because I'm feeling it very strongly, okay? I didn't realize, I know you had mentioned that, but I didn't realize it was actually today and I'm feeling that. He's here with you and I don't like to give messages when someone's just passed because there is a resting period, but this is strong. This is not coincidental that you're speaking to me today, okay? I know this is upsetting for you, but just know they're at peace, okay? They are at peace. Whatever she is trying to do, she's doing it. Again, I'm going to say she doesn't. Don't feed into all this. Try to give her what we. I really don't know. I'm feeling it very strong, so I'm not being very objective here. I try to be more objective. She has a lot of issues to work out, but unfortunately, she's trying to work it out in this family here. This is not good, but what am I going to be able to tell you? Just try to help her. I know this is difficult. Try to let her see what she's doing. This is her choice. It's not your choice, it's her choice. Try to get this influence of what she has. I don't know. We need to talk more privately sometime, okay? Because I know you're ready to talk about this here, but I'm feeling them coming through very strongly to me too, okay? Try to see that she's very troubled, okay? She's very troubled. As a lot of us are in this life. She's not unique necessarily. Is this giving you any sort of It's not closure, but just to know that there are people around you that are with you, that are good, that are trying to help you.
Yes.
Okay. I think
We have time for another question?
yes.
Sally, when my grandfather passed, he had literally no voice. His voice box was taken out from cancer. But I know he's always sending me messages. Is there a message that he's trying to send me that I'm supposed to be speaking of since he verbally had no voice?
Okay, he had no voice here, Dawn, but as you know, from the other side, that disappears. He's talking to you. So listen carefully to his messages. Because you are on the air and because of what you're doing, they may be very important to maybe it might be a program, it might be something that he feels that you may want to air here at the Brooklyn Cafe. Just because he didn't have a voice here, he has a voice there. So you actually can hear him more than you could hear because he can talk to you and you know that you can hear that. And anytime you want to ask me, I'm happy to maybe if I can hear him too, okay? So yes, he's here to give you messages to put out on the air, okay? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. They always ask me, does that make sense? That's
It
not-
makes sense. What is one of the messages that he feels so strongly about?
I guess I'm still getting a little bit of what's over there, so I'm not a completely clear channel right now, but we can talk again. We can talk about that, whatever it is, and I feel that he has something very important to tell you to get out into the public. I'm just not completely clear of what I was just doing.
No problem.
But he does want me to tell you, and I'm getting this, that he's more able to talk to you now than he was here, which you know that anyway. Okay?
True.
Yeah.
100%. Question? Okay. That's it.
Okay, I think we're coming to the end of our show. Please call in anytime. You can actually write to me, but call in, and Lynn is here. So 888-994-4995 next week at 3 o'clock on a Monday. Please ask me questions. If anything here has actually got your interest and you want to hear more, I'm happy to ask you questions in the next show. Thank you. Coincidence or not, it's time to trust your intuition and knowings. Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery and awakening with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Barnard, and you can find my book, artwork, and contact through artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week. This has been Call Me Zena.